Okay, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to both create an ogive from a frequency table and also how to calculate the mean from a frequency table. We're going to find the mean, but getting it from a frequency table. Okay, so to find the mean, remember, what we need to do is we need to multiply these scores times the frequency. So we can't just enter in the equation just yet. We need to actually do some calculations. So each one of these values, I want to do my score times my frequency. And if you see, I've done this little star value. In Excel, that star is your symbol for multiplication. So if I do my score times my frequency, press enter, it gives me 1 times 2. Okay, if I do that again, equals my score, my little star button, times my frequency, press equals, it's just there. Now, if I had made a little mistake and I clicked on my wrong one, I could go in here and say if I wanted, instead of A23, I wanted to do B23. I could just delete that B, type in a B there, and I would end up with B23 times B23. So that would be essentially 3 times 3. Okay, but I didn't want that. We'll go back, change that to an A. It gives me the value that I wanted. Okay, now this is the truly amazing thing about Excel. I've entered in my formula here once. Now I've entered it in again. I don't really want to have to enter it in over and over. Can you see how if I put my cursor right at the little corner of that 6, if I click down and start dragging down, what it's doing is it's starting to see that, okay, I want to repeat everything that I've done there. So it's gone ahead and entered in that calculation for every one of those cells, except for it's changed in each time. The 27, so the A27 and B27, because I'm on row 27, it's now changed it to A28 and A28, and so forth. So that's perfect. It's actually calculated it all for me, so I don't have to enter it in a whole bunch of times. So in this case, this is mine. I'm just going to change this slightly. This is my, what is it? This is my score. Call this X times F. Perfect. Okay, so I've got my X times F. What I want to find is the sum of all those, right? So a mean will be the sum of all these divided by the sum of all these. Okay, the sum of the frequency equal. If I write in sum there, okay, open up my bracket and choose all these for my array, all my data values that I'm interested in, close my bracket, press enter, you'll see that that's the addition of each one of these, okay? I might just label this total. Okay, I want the sum of all my scores times my frequency. So yet again, type sum, select my array or all my data values that I'm interested in, close my bracket, press enter, and poof, I've got both of my values that I need. Okay, my mean is the addition of all my frequency times my scores, this, put a slash, slash is your division sign in Excel, divided by the number of values total, press enter, perfect, there's my mean. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to create an ogive. So the first step that we need to do is make our cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency, and what I need to do there, press equals. For the first one, it's just this. The next one, it's going to be what my cumulative frequency was before, plus my next row. Okay, so this is the equation that I need for all of the rest of them. So I put my cursor right at the bottom right-hand corner, and I drag down, and poof, there's my cumulative frequency, one done. Okay, the next thing I need to do, I need to select where my data values are. So I'm first going to select my X values, okay, so I select all these. Then I'm going to go Control, so holding down Control, and then select all of my Y values, okay? So these are my Y values here. So now I've got, first I selected my X, then I selected my Y values. Go into Insert, and you want to go on this one here. This is what scatter graphs are. So when you have different data points, X and Y data points. I want to select this type, so I end up with a nice straight line with data points. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over top. Okay, so my data points here, this is my cumulative frequency here, and these are my data points. So if I click on this plus I want to have my axes. I also want to show my axis titles. I want to show my chart title. Why don't we let's show our data labels too. Okay, show our data labels there. You can see that they all line up there with cumulative frequency. If I double click, I can change the name of this. Oops. If I double click, I can change the name of this. So I want to call this my, let's just call it scores. Okay, I can change my axis title. Click on that to cumulative frequency. Oops. Frequency, and my axis title here will change to score. Okay, you can see that a few seconds ago, this area here just showed up. Okay, so this is where you can change a lot of the things that you want to do. Say if I click on this, and I want to change, say, the color of these data points. Let's see if I can get the right data point. Sometimes it's a bit hard to select. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I don't want to include that 9 there. If I click here, I go to axis options. I've got where my axis starts at 0 and ends at 9. So instead of having 0 there, I'm going to change this to a 1. Okay, as soon as I press enter, it starts at 0. I change this to an 8. Enter. Great, that's moved along. Okay. I don't really like blue, so maybe I'll change my colors. Go under here. I might change my color to a green. Okay, so this line has then become green. So that's the line. I can click on marker. I can change this to green. Beautiful. Now, here we go. Got to change my fill. Change my fill to green. Great. So that's looking a lot like I like it now. That's pretty good axis options. So that's kind of just the basics of how to make an XY plot. If you check on here, you click on this arrow here, you can get basically this screen up for your chart area, chart title, your axis, your major grid lines. Sometimes say you might want to have more grid lines. Let's add more grid lines for, say, our vertical axis. So vertical axis, major grid lines. Let's go here. Actually, sorry, that's not the one I want. Vertical value axis. This is the one I want. If I go in here, axis options, I can change. I want my major ones at, let's see, I want my major ones to be 4, let's say. As soon as I press enter, you can see how there's 4 there. And I want to have minor ones. I want to have minor ones that are visible for, let's see, every 2. Press enter there. Okay, now the reason why you didn't see any change there is this graph. We have to go plus, grid lines, and if I click on this, I can show my minor vertical ones. Okay, and that's what we just changed there. So you can change a lot of these values to make it look exactly like you want to. So that's the end of this lesson. Try and do the assignment now. Great.